Hello everybody, Big Planes here. Now before I dive too deep into this update video for my custom LEGO British Airways 777-200, I would like to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you to everybody over on Patreon who helps us support the channel. You guys are one of the main reasons why I can actually afford to build these planes. So yeah, if you want to go support the channel over on Patreon, I will leave a link in the description below. So I am trying to stay true to my word of providing more update videos for this airplane because I kind of felt like with the A380 I did not do that enough. So I feel like I've made enough progress to warrant an update video for this, and sorry about the poor lighting, but yeah, I've finally finished, or pretty much finished, most of the underside of the 777. And this can be oftentimes one of the trickiest parts of the entire airplane because you have to leave enough room for the undercarriage doors to both open, fit the gear in, and shut. I have to fit enough room to fit any electronics, any batteries, any motors, any of that stuff in here. And then, of course, it has to all blend forward into the fuselage cross section, which can be very challenging sometimes because you want it to look smooth, but at the same time you have to go from what is a pretty wide base right here to what is a pretty narrow fuselage cross section, and that can be tricky. You can see it's that much more. You can see that a lot more back here, where I had to go from a wide base here to a narrow curve here, and that can be difficult, especially when you're using a color like dark blue, which has limited part options in this color. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Actually, it's very durable. This also has to act as the backbone of the model, because if there's any loose parts here or any bending or any warpage at all, this whole thing is just not going to work. The fuselage will bend like a banana. So I have to be very careful and basically pack this as full as I can with Technic beams, plates, doing a lot of plate overlapping and stacking just to make sure that this is durable and that this plane doesn't have any warp, because there's nothing worse than a large plane that has a bending fuselage. That just looks so bad. It takes away so much from the plane. So that is very important to me. The other thing that I have been able to do since the last update is the landing gear. Now, I think I showed you the landing gear in a previous update. However, they are finally, I would say, pretty much 100% done. Now, is anything really 100% done on this channel? No. But they're as close to done as you're going to see them before I flip this over and start working on other parts of the plane. So I will show you how these work right now. Now, before I get into actually showing the function, I know some of you are going to point out these quite obvious black hinges, and unfortunately, there's really nothing I can do about that because those parts just do not exist in dark blue. I looked and looked and looked. I just could not find alternatives for them. So yeah, unfortunately, those are going to have to stay. If they do come out in dark blue, I will immediately switch them out. But as of right now, they do not exist in dark blue and there is no alternative for them. So the way this works is that, very similar to many of my other planes, this door right here can open right up, and this landing gear bogey right here, which should probably be more in this position, which is more of the tilted position. This right here, you pull up the strut on this side, nice and like that, and it goes right here. Let's see if I can do this. There you go, right like that. And then you take this and you fold it in like that. Get the strut out of the way, just like that. Perfect. And once it's in like that, this door right here can close, and it has a nice seal. So that's the design for the landing gear. I have also tested these landing gears so they actually can, or at least I think they can, hold up the weight of the plane. And yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Like I said, one of the most challenging parts of building this part of the airplane, which is the underside here, is leaving enough room for the actual landing gear to fit, while at the same time being able to blend it down into a much smaller shape, because this is pretty wide and this has to come all the way down to a much rounder shape. So it can be kind of tricky to explain, but I'm glad it ended up working, and I think it looks pretty good. I mean, this is not completely flush, but it's pretty flush, and it's good enough for me. Now, some of you may have noticed this little thingy-majiggy down here, this little port, and this is a first for any of my models. This plane, which does have lights, will not have any batteries in it whatsoever because I am sick and tired of batteries. They need to be replaced frequently. They occasionally leak, they're just not fun to deal with. So what I've decided for this model is that it will be powered using external power. What that means is that I will either have a cable that runs from this directly to an outlet, so I don't have to worry about batteries at all, or I will have a cable running from this to an external battery. It's much easier to replace. It's just generally less hassle. So I've decided to do that because it's just very difficult to replace batteries on these. And of course, as we all know, LEGO no longer produces the rechargeable battery packs, so that's sort of the end of that line. An example here, I do have a battery pack right here. This is a brick stuff battery pack, and I will show you how this works. It would be pretty much you just take this, and I'm doing this with one hand, so try to bear with me here. Pretty much just take this, plug it in like this. If I can do that. Does that fit? Nope, wrong way. There we go, like that. And you can see that the lights turn on. Of course, it's daytime right now, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to see this, but we have our landing lights, and of course, right there behind Homer, we have our rotating beacon lights, or those strobe lights. They're one of the two. So that's my plan for this one. I'm going to run it off of external power. Don't worry, I will find a way to hide all this. I will probably do, like, I'll have an air conditioning truck or a fuel truck, or a fuel line, that will run from this area right here, and the cable will be disguised as a fuel line. So I'll think of something clever to hide this. Don't worry, you won't notice it when it's finished. But that makes this a lot easier for me to transport, a lot easier for me to show at conventions, and just generally less of a headache. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Again, pretty short and sweet, but I am happy with the progress I have made. I am still waiting for Bricklink orders to finish these wings. The next update video will be the wings, and after that I am going to start moving my way forward because I'm very excited to start building the nose of this airplane. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Pretty short update video, although it's over 7 minutes at this point, so I guess I talked more than I thought. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. More updates to come. That's it for this video, and bye for now.